Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm taking you through a full day of eating today. A vegan full day of eating. Now 4 weeks into prep, and there have been some changes recently, so I'm excited to run you guys through it. I'm gonna be honest though, I'm quite hungry. I have gone and done my cardio this morning. I've gone and boxed off like 10,000 steps. It's currently 10 AM and it's a big check-in day today. So I am often quite sedentary. So I need to go get my first meal and then get started on check-ins. I'll meet you there. There is one thing that I do that makes it a hell of a lot easier to actually get my meals in throughout the day, especially when I'm busy. And this doesn't just apply for people on prep, okay? It applies for all busy people. I just prep food the night before. Or there's certain things that I'll batch cook. So my second meal of the day, which I'll take you guys through, I batch cook that and I freeze it. But literally, like, I'm hungry and I need to eat, and I've already got pretty much most of my meal ready. Let me show you. So in here, amongst lots of iceberg lettuce, what I have is, what you got there?
Chicken and cheese sausages.
That looks like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah, buddy.
So in here, there's blueberries and Alpro soy-based yogurt mixed with vegan Perform protein double chocolate flavor. So to this, all I'm going to do is add, on a rest day, it's 50 grams of Cocoa Pops. Where are the Cocoa Pops? Here. 50 grams of Cocoa Pops and, oh, I forgot the Biscoff. This is currently saving my life at the moment. I don't know what I'll do when Biscoff gets taken out.
Oh. Not the Cocoa Pops.
You're not allowed. No chocolate for you.
Sorry, mate.
And then I'm going to say a really simple tip because a lot of people don't know this, but jarred stuff, you can't put it back in the jar if you take too much out. So put it on the scale. Show them, Nath. You press 0 on the scale, then you spoon out however much you need. Can she get 10 grams spot on? Oh. Close. That, easy peasy. And you just put it in. And this is meal number 1. Bellissima. So, I got something sent in the post. And I think I know who it's from. But I thought I'd do an unboxing. Who doesn't love an unboxing? I'm going to try and hide our address as well, because we leave our door unlocked all the time. Ooh, get in. I've wanted one of these for a while. 1MR have kindly sent me out one of their multi-grips. This is fucking fantastic. Like, this is so good. So it's pretty revolutionary in terms of certain exercises that you do, whether that's like a cable pullover, whether that's like a tricep extension, but it's basically like a cuff that's like a grip. So if you can imagine doing that with 2 hands, nice and it's also quite long for a tricep extension, or also holding at either end and doing like a cable pullover. And it's just versatile with loads of different other exercises as well. So I'm excited to use this. Thank you, 1MR. Use discount code, oh wait, we don't have a discount code. Not yet anyway. If you guys like the video and subscribe, then maybe we'll get there eventually. But I'm excited to use this in my upper session later this week. Now, before I tell you about a very big life development that we've had, very big one, and all the changes that have happened over the past few days, I've got to get stuck into work. Check-ins, business mentoring meeting, and then I'll meet you at meal numero 2. Oakley dokley. So, lots of check-ins, a meeting and a second coffee done and dusted. We're at 2:30 PM, slightly later than when I typically eat my second meal, but I was on a roll.
Sorry, I can't help you with notes on Apple Watch.
that's how my brain's working as well, because Siri's just absolutely said gobbledygook, and that's how I feel. So definitely need a meal, definitely need a change of environment, and I'm gonna take you guys through what this meal is. So as I said, I prep a lot of my stuff, and what I'm about to show you is probably not gonna look like the most attractive thing. In this bag,
what the hell is even that?
I have some vegan mince, chopped tomatoes, and some seasoning, basically, that I'll put in this. This is like it's like a rice cooker / slow cooker. It does everything, right? So what I will do is I'll basically put like 8 days worth of vegan mince, chopped tomatoes, etc. in there. I will then portion it out into different portion sizes, and I'll put it in the freezer. So there is one in here which is frozen, and the reason why I put it in bags is because it's easier to store in the freezer. Nate usually puts a lot of meals in there that he gets from his meal prep company as well. So I'm going to get that, some salady bits and some rice cakes, and show you what this looks like as a finished product. Okay, that's better. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's a pretty big meal. I've recently swapped out rice for rice cakes because I've been feeling the hunger. We made some changes recently, and I'll let you guys know what those are. This meal is vegan mince, chopped tomatoes, 30 grams of Violife grated cheese, so like vegan cheese. It's actually not that high in fat, it's pretty high in carbs, and then some iceberg lettuce and cucumber. I said that really quickly, cucumber. I did put up a question box on Instagram for those of you who wanted to like ask some questions. So if you want to ask questions, anything prep related or just to follow along, Millie_teamcbm on Instagram. Let me get these up. So, how do you stay motivated during a diet? You're so on it. That's lovely, thank you. The motivation is the end goal. Like ultimately, you have to have a goal that you care enough about to do the hard things and sacrifice things. No one, okay, I say this lightly. Some people really enjoy the sadistic approach of, having to do tons of cardio and not eat much food. I don't think anyone enjoys like the side effects of prep, where it's like really, really low energy, fatigue, hunger. Those are things that you become normalized to, okay? And also dealing with some of those things can make you a stronger person because you're dealing with discomfort for a long-term goal. So some people like that about the process, but it is a hard thing to do. So how do I stay motivated? Well, I enjoy the process, number one, and two, I've got a goal to achieve for myself. And that's how I stay motivated. It's not, as I said, because I really desperately want to lose body fat and that's my most important thing in the whole world. If that was the case, it would probably actually be more difficult because everything would be super hyper focused on body composition, which is not necessarily one of the most helpful mindsets to have, particularly when actually you are pursuing a really intense body composition focused goal. One more question before I dig into this because I'm starving. How often do I prep food in advance? Well, I think that was like a nice little example, but just to summarize, I'll prep the bases of a couple of my meals. So cream of rice, my yogurt meal, I'll prep that the night before because I don't want those things sitting in the fridge for too long. And then meals where I can freeze it, like this meal, I will do, and I'll prep that a week in advance. Where I can save time, I have to. Very busy person. I'll answer a couple of the other questions that you guys have sent through as we go through this video. And as I said, there's a lot to update you on. So we'll have to cover some of that stuff. This tastes better than it should for what it is. Meal has been eaten, and now we are ready for some steps. It gets to like halfway through the day and I have to have a break from my first work block. If I don't go and get some fresh air and just move my body, I literally procrastinate the hell out of the rest of my day. So when I come back, I've got 7 client check-ins to do. So maybe like an hour and a half's worth of work, wrap up with some messages. That's it. We're pretty much gonna be done and dusted. So be wrapping up today around 6 p.m, which is pretty good on a check-in day. And then that takes us right to when the next meal is going to be at 6. So time to go finish these 15,000 steps off. Probably only take about 30 minutes because I feel nimble and ready to get my steps on after that meal. Teddy! Hello. Hello. You little fluffy boy. Landino. Hello, son. You okay?
Badass.
Don't call him that. It's bulking season. Having a nice poignant look outside at the building. There we have it, ladies and gents. 6 p.m, finished check-ins, and we finished steps. Winning. I've been very proud of myself because I have been hitting a wall quite frequently at the same time the last few days, but I know the drill now. I get up, I go for a walk, I get some steps in, I come back, push through that final little slog of work for like 90 minutes, and then I can chill. So technically, like, there's low energy, mental capacity things that I need to do, like getting back to messages, finishing this YouTube video from now on, but it's chill because if I'm up at 4:30 to go and get everything that I need to done, then being in this position is fantastic. So next meal, as I said, guys, I prepare things. So prepared last night, we have some cream of rice, 40 pathetic grams of cream of rice on a rest day. I'm gonna add some blueberries to this, and then going to have some vegan protein powder. On my walk, when I was out in Gate Avenue, which is the mall where I'm at, I did pick up some of these. And as you can see, it says 2 to 12 months. I got a fact for you now. These cooters, these cats, are pretty much over a year old. So that's a bit of a hint. Really need to sort out the focus on this camera. 40 grams of cream of rice. I had 40 grams of some vegan protein just mixed with water. And then we got some blueberries on top. Nice and simple meal. And it tastes good too. Everything has started to taste better now, which is obviously because I'm hungry. One of the questions that I got asked was, do I stick to a meal plan or do I track my macros? So initially, Soph gave me my macros. I then said, here's what I want to eat. And I tracked it all out as per the macros. And now we've just taken that and she's taking food away from it where necessary. So in terms of how things have gone, for the first, well, we're now going into week 4, so the first 3 weeks of prep, we didn't actually see, well, I'm going to be honest and say I visually didn't see much happening in the first 2 weeks, which is often expected in a fat loss phase. You're ticking all the boxes, you don't see much happen. But I did say to Soph, I said, I appreciate as a natural athlete, you know, we've got to have our calories as high as possible to retain as much muscle tissue as possible, but this is a much shorter prep. Possibly 16 weeks if I decide to do the WMBF show here in Dubai. But otherwise, it's going to be 20 weeks until my first show in the UK. And that's much shorter than I've done before. Granted, I'm in a better body composition, but still, we need to get the ball rolling. So nothing was necessarily moving, and I visually didn't feel like anything was changing. So I said to Soph, like, I'm ready for a bit of a push, like I'm ready to work hard. So we went from 4 30-minute cardio sessions per week, like right up to daily cardio. And we pulled, well, Soph pulled a fair amount of food. And lo and behold, 4 days on the new protocols and I've dropped 2 pounds. So obviously things are now shifting. And still, I'm just really focused on doing the do, and I'll kind of show more progress as, you know, there's enough to show. But for now, I'm just really happy, like, focusing on what I'm doing. And that was kind of like one of the questions, which is like, you documented a lot on Instagram on your first prep. Let me find it. Like, is that going to be different this time around? And I think it will be, because my first prep was like very much so about, it's my first time competing. I'm going to be completely honest, as a first time, I'll show you everything that I go through. And I wanted to be fully transparent, and it was a big part of my life because I wasn't like full-time coach then, business owner, etc. It was like a big part of my life outside my corporate role. But now I'm very much so like in a position where I'm doing bodybuilding for me. It's my kind of thing. Like, I identify as a coach and someone who helps others. Bodybuilding is just my hobby. So like, I don't necessarily want to put that kind of like pressure on myself to overly share stuff. Another question, How do I stay entertained during cardio? Very good question. I struggle during cardio to respond to any messages or do anything like that. I don't feel like I'm mentally fully there, especially when it's that early in the morning. So I really like doing my self-development during cardio time. Doing webinars, podcasts, watching educational videos. Sometimes I just won't be able to actually comprehend any information if I'm quite tired, and I'll just listen to music and like stare at one spot in the gym until the 30 minutes is done and dusted. But recently I've been doing a social media course and I've been listening to all those videos whilst I've been on the Stairmaster. And when you feel like you're using that time for another benefit, it just helps that time go a hell of a lot faster. I think my clients should be grateful that I don't respond to them whilst I'm on the Stairmaster, because they probably end up just getting like a whole bunch of gobbledygook. So instead I use that time to like just focus in on listening to someone and absorbing information. So give it a try. Maybe you'll get through some audiobooks. I'm gonna eat this meal now, and then I'm gonna talk through a big change which has happened this week, and it's not regarding my protocols. So I'll be introducing you to someone new. This? Come get it. Come get it. Come on, come say hi. Come say hi.
Come on.
Oh, you missed? Say hi, Leo. This is our new little latest ginger cooter. Hello. You say hello. Right, there you go. Off you go. Come on. So do you want to tell a story of how that happened? The third ginger cat.
Well, you were looking on Facebook.
I was looking on Facebook for a cat sitter. We're going back to the UK in July because we've got business events and clients events. And you happened to just convince us that the cute little ginger kitty that we saw, who survived 3 fractures to his femur, pneumonia, that he needed a new home.
Yeah, he was living behind a bin.
No, he got caught, not caught, he got found, he got found with his mama and his kitten siblings in a bin. That's where they were living. And his brother and sister died from pneumonia, so he's the only survivor.
So it only makes sense.
We went and saw him, and then Nathan was like, but we have to. So we brought home this beautiful ginger kitten who is like the most loving little guy ever, very, very energetic, as you guys will see. But there's been one hiccup in the road.
He's got a bacteria infection. You want to call it that?
But we don't know.
He's just fluey. He's been bleeding from his nose, he's been sneezing a lot. So we think it's just like maybe the remnants of the pneumonia or whatever. This
wasn't the plan. Like when we went and saw him, he was absolutely fine. And then a couple of days later, we brought him home and he started sneezing a lot. He had snot around his nose and he like accidentally, from the sneezing, like had a nosebleed. So we took him to the vets and they were like, yeah, it seems like the antibiotics first course didn't do their trick. So now he's on a 2nd course of antibiotics where hopefully he'll get better and he'll have the best life ever once he's improved. But what does that mean?
We've got to keep him apart from the other guys.
So we've got to keep him apart from our other cats for 2 weeks. So we're currently in my office, and this guy is now going to live in my office for the next 2 weeks, and we've got to make sure we spend enough time with both of the cats whilst I'm on prep. So animal rescue job and coach whilst on prep, this is something that I never expected, but hopefully it's going to go well. He is super, super cute. I anticipate he's just still a little bit like undernourished because he's eating non-stop. So the more that we feed him up, get him in bulking mode, the better it will be. But he's literally the sweetest baby. So how many more cats are we going to get?
So when we move into a villa, we're just going to make a category.
Are we? Yes. We're going to make a category.
Category, yeah. It's category of the bikini competition.
If you are a crazy cat person, comment down below with the cat emoji. 3 orange cats, and you guys know what they say about orange cats. So hopefully it will be well, but it is actually proving something extra to consider from a time perspective of like, not only do I have to get everything done, but Nathan and I now have to coordinate who is spending what time with which cats. not what we had thought was going to happen. We thought that he was fully healthy and that we were going to be able to integrate them within like, you know, a few days. But it's going to prove to be a longer process than that. So hopefully we'll be happy families in about 4 weeks' time.
Fingers crossed.
God, he's an arsehole, aren't you? But at least we've given the good little guy a little good life. That didn't make any sense.
Living my lifestyle.
Look at his face. He's looking at Nate like, what? Anyway, it's meal time for this little guy, and then I'll go and have my final meal. See you guys in a bit. So it's time to wrap up the video, guys, but before I answer your last couple of fairly juicy questions, to be fair, I'm going to just talk you through the final meal that I had. So final meal is around 8:30 p.m. It's the only meal that I haven't like pre-prepared somehow because it's super quick to cook. It's 3 Linda McCartney sausages, some iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, whack the sausages in the air fryer for 10 minutes, and bish bash bosh, we are done. On a rest day, I have 15 grams of vegan cheese with that, but I don't have that on a training day. So that's the final meal. As you can see, all of them are very, very quick or pre-prepared. So, final questions that you guys asked. What do I do when dieting gets hard? I don't really have an option. You know, like when you are in a position where you're progressing towards a very extreme goal, such as bodybuilding, you know, you will wake up on some days and you will not even muster the energy to pull your freaking like knickers on. Like you are that tired and your body is screaming at you to not do any energy expenditure, yet you have to move. And I think in those times, it's just the don't think, just do mentality. It's great to have a fantastic support network around you, but the regret of not getting something done versus the pride in doing it, no matter how hard it is really what has to shine through during that time. So you just keep going. It's amazing what your body can do when your mind's telling you you can't do it. So you just switch off the mind and you wait until your body gives out. There is a question or a couple of questions that I kind of like tied into one here, I suppose. One of them's not really like prep related, but I think it kind of like ties into it. So one is, do you ever want children? And then the other one is, will you always compete, or will there be a time where you don't want to? And to be honest, like in terms of having children, it's not really a time where you would compete, as in like the early years. Some people as parents, even if they have young children, will still compete. But to be honest, like my life is very different now to where it was where I first did my prep. I think during my first prep, I had a huge focus still on body composition, and it was something that was really important to me. Whereas now, like I don't bodybuild because I want to look better. Like, I mean, I do, but it's more so the process that I enjoy. It's the process of doing hard things. But the thing is when it comes to the process of doing hard things, like it doesn't just have to be bodybuilding. You can do that in any sport, which is competitive, but also I do bodybuilding to compete against myself, not anyone else. And that's my personal perspective. So will I be able to do something else in the future where perhaps that means I'm competing against myself and not against others, or some other form of, you know, sport which gives me that kind of drive? Like, for sure. So do I see myself becoming an IFBB pro and dedicating my whole life to bodybuilding? Not really. Like I've always kind of said, like I'm a hobbyist bodybuilder, and eventually I will want to have kids. And at that point, like the last thing that I'm really going to be massively focused on is body composition. I'm going to focus on being happy and healthy. And it's something that I never really expected until recently. As you guys who follow this channel will know, like my dad passed away only recently, about 6 weeks ago. And with us setting up our life here in Dubai, getting solidified, and then having such a big tragedy happen, it makes you realize like what really matters in life. And I think like dedicating a whole life to bodybuilding, like guaranteed it's 110% super selfish. Like it's a very, very selfish sport. Or just being an athlete who is super obsessed with being the best, you have got to be selfish. And it's, you know, I'm a really selfless person. So I think I would struggle to do that long term unless there was a huge amount of flexibility and time away from it. So I suppose that kind of answers that question. Take from that what you will. But we shall see. For now, I'm just focused on doing my very best this season. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, massively appreciate it. Please drop a like below. And if you're not subscribed, please do. I'm aiming to get to 3K subscribers in the next few months. So please drop a follow or subscribe below. I'd massively appreciate it. Have a good one, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Much love.